morning, student friends. Welcome to English class. In the last class, we were discussing about Poornachandra Tejaswi's Around a Medicinal Creeper, a short story. So we come to know in the last class that how Mara got his wound cured miraculously and what the doctor asked for Mara and whether Mara find it out or not. So Mara ultimately, you are right, has failed to identify the plant despite of all the wealth that is being shown to Mara by the doctor at Pulihindu. Then, so we also come to know that how Mara narrated one more story as the crow peasant and mongoose find this new plant to protect themselves from the poison biting of the poisonous snake. Then we will go to the next para now. Please open page number 19 of your textbook, para number 3 there. Mara did not have any teeth on the right side of his mouth. He had to chew everything on the left side. So he was aged and perhaps they had fallen off naturally. But why only one side? I was curious. So here the author was curious. And what for he was curious? He observed Mara and he found out that Mara had teeth on the right side of his mouth, but he had to chew everything on the left side. So he had no teeth on the right side. Everything he was chewing from the left side. And initially he felt that he was aged, and because of the age, as we grow old, our teeth fall down. So maybe the reason. But the surprise thing there is why his teeth were lost only from the one side, that is from the what you could say that right side of his mouth. So he was worried. Only he was chewing from the left side, all the right side tooth he has lost all the teeth. So then he was curious about it, and one day I asked him how he had come to lose all the teeth only on the one side. That's what I think. He could not bear that for a long time. So he asked Mara what made him to lose teeth on your right side. So then what was the reply from Mara? Let us see that. He told me an interesting story. So again he has a story for that also. He told an interesting story. So what is that? It seems that they had fallen out long ago, and not as a result of his advancing age. Advancing, progressing, increasing. That is what the word advancing means. So not because of that advancing age. So it had fallen very long ago. So how it had fallen? So now he narrates it. Once he had laid a trap in the forest to catch rabbits. Trap means an instrument to catch animals. So he placed a trap where in the forest, what for? To catch rabbit. He was worried that somebody else may get these before him in the morning and take away his catch. His catch, the catch is rabbit. He was worried that somebody may go well in advance to the forest and take that trap and the animal which is caught in the trap. So he had a plan. What was that plan? So he went into the forest before daybreak, before the rising of the sun. He just went into the forest very early in the morning, before the sunrise. The trap was empty. So there was nothing there in the trap. No rabbit had walked into it. true. So no rabbit was there. So it was empty. Since then, there was a stream flowing nearby. Mara decided to brush his teeth and wash his face before trekking back home. That's what. So he found that there was a stream nearby. So he thought that let me just freshen up. So go and brush his teeth and wash his face. That is what he decided, to brush his teeth and wash his face before trekking back home. Trekking, so that is walking. So how? Going back to home, let him brush, because the efforts what he has put in is ended with no result. That is empty. So at least let him, that is what he felt, let me just brush up my teeth and wash my face and then go back with trekking. That is moving on foot. That is trek. So when he broke a small stick from a nearby plant to brush, so what he did, how people used to brush in a forest and all, they take some sticks and then they start brushing the teeth. That is what he took, a plant nearby and started to brush a third or fourth time. He was just brushing it and he felt a sour taste. So that is what the taste, sour taste. So he was feeling that sour taste in the mouth. So then what he did, he thought that there was something wrong in the stick and threw. So when he found that there was sour taste, so he threw that stick, thinking that something was wrong with that stick. And before he could try another stick, before he wanted to take one more stick and start brushing the teeth, he wanted to rinse his mouth with water. He poured water, gargle and spat. So that is water thing. So rinsing, he wanted to rinse his mouth. He took some water from the stream. So the whole thing is narrated in an action, beautiful way. And please read this paragraph and understand better, language will come to you. So he took some water from the stream, put it into his mouth, and after churning, what you could see that on either side of that, movement of the water inside that is what? Churning. So when after churning around his mouth, spat it out. He spat it out. Surprise! When he spat water from his mouth out, there was a surprise. What was the surprise? All the teeth which had been touched by that stick tumbled out of his mouth, came out of his mouth along with the water. So he was brushing on the one side of it, the right side. So he felt the sour taste. So he threw the stick and he wanted to rinse before trying for the another stick. So by that time, when he rinsed his mouth and churned it and spat along with the water, this tooth also came out. So he was brushing only on one side. So this is water thing. And now you could see the plus point also he feels there, and he thanks God in the next para. What is that? Thank God I was saved because I had not brushed all the teeth. So many times, we feel that. So there are, even in a negative situation, there are some positive things also. Look at the positive attitude of Mara. So he is thanking God that he did not brush on both the side. He brushed on only one side. So that is why he lost it. So he did not brush, so other part of this mouth, teeth are still there and they are very strong and sturdy. So otherwise I would not have had any teeth left to eat even rice. That's what he was thinking. So had he been brushed this, he would lost on both the sides, the teeth. So he thanked God for that. Now I rebuked him. I here, the author, so rebuked him. So he strongly criticized Mara. How did he criticize? Hey Mara, if you want to tell lies, they must at least be believable. So he says that if you want to tell lies, so tell in such a way that people should believe. What is this? A cock and bull story. So we cannot listen to this. It is beyond what you can say belief, human belief. That's what Mara said. What he says. Can't you see that I have lost all these teeth? He was showing it and saying that, can't you see this? I have lost all these teeth. Then come and show me the plant. So this line is said by the author. Then if that is the case, show me, come and show me the plant. So then Mara says, how can I show you that plant? There are hundreds of plants in the forest. You can do one thing, sir. You can try brushing your teeth with each of them. There we can find out which one has this effect. Now he was suggesting to the author himself that author can go and try each and every plant, and then he'll come to know that which plant is that. So then author replies, how he replies? Why should I? You have the one who is lying. So you have to brush your teeth with all these plants and discover the right one. Find out. So the right one. So it is you who said all these things, and this is your story. You have to make it you have to show the truth of this statement, what you have said. Then what he says, my God, there are so many plants in the forest. I won't live long enough to try each and every one of them. This is how Mara says, my God, there are so many plants. And if he keep on trying all through his age, even if he try, he cannot complete it. So that is what he questions, how can he do that kind of thing? Then, hey Mara, says the author, hey Mara, if you keep trying out different ones, you may find one which is going to make your teeth come back. Now, so the author put it in a positive way. If you keep trying that, different plants, brushing your teeth, the lost teeth the teeth which you have lost could have come back. There is a possibility of such things also. That is how he makes just a fun in that situation. And then what happens? How can I say which type of plant I will stumble upon? Just my bad luck if I get one which kills me. So now he goes one step further, Mara, and he says, how can I stumble upon all such kind of things? There may be some other plant which may kill him also. So other thing. Then what happens? In the next page number 21. Then why are you asking me to try? So now author says, why you are asking me to try these things if that is the case? Because you are the one who is accusing me of lying. Mara replies that you are the one. So you as an author, so he is saying to the author, you are the one who is accusing me. So who is pinpointing me that I am making a lie statement. So that is why I am uttering all these things, saying all these things to you. Suppose you come upon the one that will bring you back your youth. So that is what I think. So he once again puts a positive note on that. So it may, suppose some plants may bring your youth back. You may try. This is another fun the author makes. So when you are trying these plants and all, so you are now aged, and as a result of these plants and its medicinal properties, you may become young and very young, and your youthhood will come back to you. If there is a possibility of that also, why can't you try? Then what Mara replies, I don't even want that. If I become young, I will have to marry again. Let that be, but don't think that such a plant doesn't exist in our forest. He said and told me another story. So he stopped that. So he doesn't want to. If he becomes young, he wants to marry again. So that doesn't he want to be. So he doesn't want to marry again. So saying, he stopped it and diverted the attention of the author to the next one. So he said another story. What is that another story? We could see it in the next paragraph. Long ago, Mara and a friend of his laid a trap and caught a barking deer. So they found a barking deer. What is that barking deer? So it is Mount Jack. They call it as Mount Jack. That is called barking deer, a kind of a deer which you could see in the forest. And as they had to divide it equally, they trapped it. They found that Mara and his friend, now they have to divide it into equal parts, share themselves these things. So what they did, they took it near the stream where the water was flowing and skinned it. So this is what? Look at the word skin. It is a noun and that is used as a verb. So we will deal in detail about this. This is what you could see American English. Americans use most of the nouns as a verb. Skin is a noun. He skinned it means he removed the skin. That is how the meaning is to be understood. So this is what I think. So you could say that he soaped and toweled. So what is that soaped and toweled? Soap is a noun. Towel is a noun. Soaped. So that means he is using it as a verb. Toweled. So he is using it as a. When do we soap our body? So when we are taking a bath. So when we towel it, use towel. So after taking the bath. That means he soaped and toweled means he has taken bath. So this is how Americans use language. So we will know about this at the back exercise. Probably in this video it is not possible. So we'll take one more video for this thing, since we are going very slowly, so that you can understand things in a pretty well manner. So this is what you could see, that they skinned it, cleaned and divided the meat. The meat, which meat? Meat of trapped barking deer. So then they wrapped their portions, each one of their portions, 2 parts it is, they wrapped, covered the portions in some leaves and brought them home. They used the leaf in the forest and they brought. Each one took their home. In Mara's house, they got ready to cook. So what you could notice, in Mara's house, they got ready to cook. They prepared the masala with spices, put the water to boil and opened the packet to take out the meat. Surprise of surprises. Instead of meat, there was a wild buck living. So which you could see there. So there was a live old buck, wild buck. The moment it saw Mara, that is the buck, the moment it saw Mara, that is the buck means the deer only here, Mara. So when it saw, it jumped up and ran out of his house. It jumped and then moved out of his house. When Mara was trying to catch it, as usual, Mara's wife ignorantly, Mara was about to catch that. He was running behind that wild buck. So, but Mara's wife was ignorant. She was having lack of knowledge, ignorant. Lack of knowledge. So she was ignorant, and as a result, she took that leaves and threw them into the fire. So how that leaf was lost is also been explained here. So she was not aware of. Had Mara been there, he would have protected that leaf and been shown to the author. But it did not happen. So this is what a thing. So the miracle which you could see, the dead animal become alive. So after wrapping the meat of that animal in a leaf. So when I heard, so now you could see in this next para the author's reaction to it. What is the author's reaction to it? What you could see is, when I heard this story, so when author heard this story, I was speechless and did not ask Mara for any elaboration or explanation. So he did not ask for any elaboration. So elaborate it, explain it, no. So instead of that, what? So he has given a reason for that, because this was the height of his inventive genius. The author has understood. He was very inventive. Inventions are more. Very creative in his genius in weaving the stories. So he did not ask anything. It is no wonder that the white man of Hulihindalu was prepared to give away his entire estate in exchange for this wonderful plant. So there is no doubt about it. If such kind of plants are available, so in this world, so the white man, what he felt really giving, so the action of white man seems to be very right for the author at this situation. Now, it has been a long time since I sold that estate, and Mara is also dead and gone. Now the days are passed on, and it is a very long ago all these things happened, and the author has sold his land, that is estate also, and Mara is also dead and gone. He is no more, and it is difficult to dismiss all Mara's stories as bunkum. Nonsense. Stupid action is what you can, which is having no sense. So you cannot, what you can say that dismiss or remove, that is called dismiss. You cannot remove the stories of Mara as bunkum. So use these kind of words in your answers. So what you could see then, some little detail remains to bother your conscience. So what happens in the stories of Mara is that, what author feels is that some little remains, bother, so worry in your consciousness, in your, what you could say that memory as good or bad. So you need to justify, you need to look at the situation in a scientific way. You should not take the things as it is in a raw form. Rather than that, you need to apply it in and look into that matter or the stories in a scientific way. So then what he says, the total disinterest that Mara showed in trying to argue with us or convince us for this matter to lie or tell the truth continues to bother us. This is what I think. The whole thing, what bothers him is how he wants to say that, how he wants to convince. So the truth or the false statements is bothering the author. After a long time, Mara's medicinal creeper, so page number 22. After a long time, Mara's medicinal creeper was back in the news. So now his creeper was back in the news. Some people have brought out that news probably. This time I saw Appanna. So this is one more character that is added now with Mara. So I saw Appanna tying it to a nearby tree. So he was tying it. Appanna was tying that creeper in a nearby tree. I asked him whether he knew its uses. Naturally, now author wants to know the uses of that plant. He did not know. I believe if you squeeze the juice of these leaves, milk becomes hard, he said. So he he said. So what is that? If you squeeze the milk of that, the liquid of that plant to a glass of milk, milk becomes hard. That is what he said that as his belief. He believed. He heard that by somebody else. And I thought that probably the leaf of this creeper must be sour. If anything sour is added to milk, milk becomes curd. So it is thickened. So this is what author felt. When you squeeze something sour into the milk, it spoils and curdles. That's what he says. That's what. I thought this was being mistaken for hardening of milk. So probably, this fellow, who is that Aparna, might have mistaken milk turning into curdles as hardening. So he may be using a wrong term. That's what he felt. I asked Aparna, have you seen it happen? No, he wanted to confirm it. Have you seen it through your eyes, that milk turning to hardened stuff, hardened thing? Then what happens? That is what people say. Where can I find milk for such experiments? He replied. People say all such kind of things. Where can I have milk for such experiments? He is from a poor family. So he has no such kind of materials or a liquid, milk, to keep it and conduct the experiment. No. That's what he replied. He did not see that. That is what I think people saying that he heard. So, is there any basis for the stories that are spread about these plants and herbs? I wondered whether I should squeeze the leaves into milk and see what happens. So he was wondering. So he thought himself, his inventive mind, his discovery mind started working. Who's? The authors. Instead of criticizing others for not knowing, I thought it should be better to check it out on my own. So he felt that he himself to check it out and find on these things. Now, so what the author finds it out. So will he find it out? Will he finds it out? And if that is the case, what will happen? And what are the other people's comments on it? We will see it in the next class. Thank you.